really heartbreaking images coming from southern Kaduna, and this has been on for, honestly, as long as I can remember, far too long. As you can see there, we're joined by Mr. Zubair Abdurrauf, a community leader. Bernin Gwari is also former managing director and CEO of Kaduna State Media Corporation. That's KSMC Radio and TV from 2002 to 2008. I don't know whether to say good morning. Thank you for joining us on the program, though. I'd like to start off. I'd like to start off with at least the state of the people. I mean, after I imagine it's still morning for them right now. But can you just tell us what is the state of those people in the communities that were attacked, as at the last time you checked, at least by way of update for Nigerians?
Well, the communities that were attacked are living in a traumatized situation and also in a confused situation, because killing 31 or 32 people at a row and in one single attack, and that this attack become a daily occurrence, not only in Zangon Katab but in other areas of Kaduna State. If you look at the situation, prelude to the elections, these attacks and abduction were reduced to the nearest minimum, in such a way that you don't have of such attacks or killings or whatever. Immediately after the March 18 elections, the gubernatorial elections, you see the renewed hostilities. One, for a number of factors, because at that time there is no, cash. It's a cashless, society. People doesn't have money with them. Even the terrorists cannot get the ransom that they're demanding because there is no cash. But immediately after the Supreme Court, the judgment, and also cash started to flow, you see the renewed hostilities by these, terrorists. You look at many areas in Kaduna State, in particular, not only Zangon Katab that have, recurrence of all these terrorist attack or whatever, or communal clashes, right from, 1987 Zangon Katab crisis and the 1991 Zangon Katab crisis. You see a lot of things have happened. And, committees or panels have been set up, but you see the complicity, or I can say, the lack of definite, action from governments to prosecute all those found, capable of all this heinous crime, make people, to do things with impunity without even being, being prosecuted by people. So therefore, if you look at all these things and the trauma that people go every day, you understand that this is something that will make, people's lives very, very unbearable for them. For instance, before even this 31 people, in the area that I came from, in Bernin Gwari, on the 16th of this April, people were killed. On the 11th of April, 9 people were gunned down. 8 a.m. It's not only in the night that these terrorists come. And one wonders, what are the security agents doing? To me, I can say, when we have the GOC that was deployed recently to Abuja, General Lagbaja, he came with a strategy. Kaduna-Abuja highway, there was no any report of abduction or whatever. In the southern Kaduna, there is at least a sanity, and even the security were able to rescue a lot of people there. But now, removing him just less than a year, you see, somebody that need to study the strategy he adopted, or he bring his own strategy. So lack of strategy make all these terrorists penetrate into these areas, and that is why we have these killings in Zangon Katab and other areas of the state.
Well, it would seem that even some of the residents may have lost faith in the security agencies. Just some days ago, the residents were demanding immediate withdrawal of soldiers over their inability to secure their lives. And yes, the death toll actually rose to 33, not just 30 or 31, rose to 33, and those were the ones who were eventually buried. But listening to the clergy in that package earlier on, saying that the government knows what to do. And, you know, he said it and said that the state and federal government, they know how to end, you know, these attacks. And what we have heard has been, okay, you should be clash. Now it's a full-blown terrorist or bandit attack. Why, if you know, are bandits, why do they keep attacking these communities? Is there any simple explanation? Maybe that might help to point the security agencies and government in the right direction. Is there any reason that these attackers keep coming to raid, attack, burn, and, you know, render these communities in sorrow?
Well, if you see these communities, whatever they are doing, you understand whatever, you know, these people are doing or what the clergy said is correct. There is complicity of silence by the, you know, both the government side and also some people. You see, it's just because of southern Kaduna that this thing is happening. And there are a lot of people to talk on this issue are not talking. And why people are losing faith in the security agents, because even when we call the security agents to come to the rescue in a particular place, they will wait for orders, either from Kaduna or from Abuja or from whatever. So therefore, when you have this kind of situation, you have, you know, an attack by these terrorists, and you are trying to see how best, you know, these people can come to the rescue, and these people are not forthcoming, and people are being killed every day. So therefore, people will now act, will now react and said, we don't want any people, so let us keep to our feet and defend ourselves wherever is necessary. So it is a complete, you know, a hopeless situation that people doesn't want people who cannot even help them to prevent this kind of attack and also to remain in their communities. So therefore, one is to depend on God. That is one. Number two is also to seek alternative ways. There are various ways, apart from the normal, you know, the press statement that the government has condemned this, condemned that. You see, if the government is getting the real situation happening in all of these remote areas that this thing is happening, definitely you will see that the government will take action. The action that the government will take, in collaboration with the federal government, they will find a solution to go to these areas. So we're talking of Zangon Katab now. This Zangon Katab has been on the spotlight for many years. And the communities that lives there, apart from the farmers' hardest clash, you know, that you mentioned, you understand, those people that hardest that come, they normally come from various places, from Senegal, from Mali, from Central African Republic, because of the vast land in the southern Kaduna area, particularly Zangon, Katab, Tagoro, and other areas. So therefore, after that, the new form of terrorists or this kind of attack, even those herders who settled in that part of the area, they also, because of their youth, you know, doesn't have something doing and they want to live a big life, and they become part and parcel of all this heinous crime. So therefore, it is left for the government to identify those communities and those bad spots or those, places where all these people, you know, are committing this heinous crime, to now identify them, level them. Because once, you know, you identify a place where something is been happening, so you have to have, you know, a kind of collateral damage. One, those people who living with those terrorists are either with them or they are accomplices. So you level them, definitely there's nothing you can do without having a collateral damage. It's better, to have a little collateral damage and serve the larger society so that these people will not continue to commit this kind of crimes and killing innocent soul that you cannot produce. 33 people, killing 33 people in one single night. And this thing is continuing, is daily reoccurrence of all these situations. So therefore, if the government want to be serious and sincere, the government will sit down. When they wanted to, campaign, they went to all these places without any problem.
Indeed, Mr. Zubair, let me quickly come in there, if I may. And you have rightly pointed out that, land disputes may be at the heart of some of this attacks on southern Kaduna over time. And there have been peace accords signed in the past, to sort of resolve some of the conflicts between the settlers and the indigents in that part of Kaduna State. And in fact, when you arrive southern Kaduna, there is a monument that attests, to a peace accord signed in the past. So if these peace accords, past peace accords have failed, to resolve the issues in the past, what more can be done? What panacea would you think would be more enduring to end these attacks on southern Kaduna permanently?
Well, there must be sincerity. There must be fairness, equity, and justice to all. The peace accord you are talking about, the first peace accord was signed, in 2002. After the crisis, you understand, that occurred at that time, after the Sharia or something. And from that time to 2011, 9 good years, there is no any crisis in Kaduna State, particularly whether the larger Kaduna State or southern Kaduna, because at that particular moment, there are some mechanisms put in place by McCarthy administration. One, giving people a sense of belonging, creating chiefdoms, giving them the right, to rule themselves. Although they are not part of the democratic governance, they are just traditional institutions, but the communities feel that, now the government, give them, a sense of belonging, and for them, to now interact freely, and also to put all the issues at hand so that people will live in peace. 9 good years, no crisis until first election violence in 2011. So what we are saying here is this. Why is it that successful government, particularly from 2015, they didn't adopt a new strategy to see how best they can be able to galvanize this society and also to bring people together and to take measures to address this situation? During that period, you understand, there was some places that, that were identified, security were being posted in those areas, and also they built a kind of camp for them so that in the event of anything that happened, they can be able to trash it before it escalates. But now, we have a situation. There is no equity, there is no justice, there is no, equally distribution of, wealth in a democracy. People are not enjoying the dividend of democracy. Only selected cities are enjoying that. So as such, people are being left so porous, so open, and people cannot be able to get, what they are supposed to get because of lack of commitment from the government to equally exercise a kind of fairness in the governance of the state.
And I think it just boils down to those issues you raised, and we hope that those issues can be taken on board by the appropriate authorities at the state and federal government levels. But we'd like to thank you so much, Mr. Zubair Abdurrauf, community leader, Berlin Gwari, also former managing director and CEO, Kaduna State Media Corporation, that's KSMC Radio and TV. Thank you so much for your time on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Well, back in a moment with another conversation. Please stay with us.